Hi, how's it going? So today I thought I would do a mid-December wrap-up because basically I have read enough books to talk about, and also I don't think I'm going to be very good about doing a big wrap-up video around the Christmas New Year's period, so I may as well talk about the books that I've read so far. The first book I read was Of Soul Dust and Starlight by J.C. Hart, which is the fourth and final book of the Kotahi Bay series. I think in some previous videos I said there were 5 books. Who knows why I thought that. There are 4, and I have now finished that series, which I'm super excited about because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I'm doing a big push to finish off all the series where all the books have been released. And so this means I can tick off another one of those series, and I'm actually doing really well, as we'll see. So the Kotahi Bay series is basically about this small New Zealand town where they protect the Māori gods. This particular book, each book focuses on a different character. This one is based on Samantha, who is the daughter of the god of the sky. I forget his name. And of course each one of these books is actually like a little romance. So she has a particular romance going on, which also kind of wraps up the series, although I do think there's still a lot of potential for Cassie to write more in this world, so I hope she will in the future. But I did really enjoy this book. The only thing is I wish it was a little bit longer, as I have with all of the series, because I just want more. Then the next book that I read was What Janie Saw. So this is also like a short novella, and this is the 4th book, I think, in the Face on the Milk Carton series by Caroline B. Cooney, which is another one that I'm trying to get done. There's still one more book which I have started, so I'm still pretty hopeful that I will get this done this month. In a lot of ways, What Janie Saw was really just a kind of almost like a trailer. It was so short. It was almost like a trailer for the next book, kind of just setting things up. So I almost feel like it doesn't warrant a review of its own. It was so short it almost doesn't bear counting. But I read it, so we're going to count it. And the next book I read was Grave by Michelle Segara, and this is the final book of the Queen of the Dead series, so tick, that is another series that I can mark off. As I said for the last book in the series, which I think was Touch, I think I just left it way too long between the first book and the second book, so by the time I read the second book I didn't really remember what was going on, and it never really explains it very well. Again, you know, like a lot of books in the later books, they give you like little hints of what happened to help you catch up, whereas this series I really didn't understand. The third book, a lot of it is told kind of in the world of the dead, or like stuff that people are just kind of imagining to happen, or stuff that's happening in their memories. That's weird to explain, but it made it really hard for me to follow. There were definitely a lot of parts where characters were referenced that I was like, who is that again? I can't decide if it's just that the book wasn't clear enough or that I just wasn't paying enough attention. But what I did really like about this series is it's really focused on the importance of friendship, and also about how it's okay for people to have different personalities, and how diverse personalities are really important in helping you to get what you might need from different people, and how different people can come together to kind of make a group that's much stronger than an individual might be. And there's also a lot in this series about dealing with grief, and I thought that that was really well dealt with. And also, while I don't have a lot of experience, there's also an autistic character, and I thought that representation was quite well done, although, as I said, I don't really know much about autism. So weirdly, even though I found the book quite confusing, and I think I don't really know what was going on most of the time, I still kind of enjoyed it. That's weird, but that's what it is. Then the next book that I finished was The Empress by S.J. Kincaid. This is the sequel to The Diabolic, and this also means, even though this isn't a series that's complete yet because there's still a 3rd book to come, I can now move this onto my list of series where it's not on me anymore, it's on the author. That's why I haven't finished it. The author needs to finish it. So it's like not my responsibility anymore until, of course, the next book comes out. Which, when the next book comes out, I'm totally hyped to read it. I really liked where this one went. Totally wasn't the story I was expecting. Actually, in the beginning, I remember I was a bit frustrated because I felt like Nemesis, the main character, who was this like genetically engineered bodyguard who in the first book ended up kind of standing in for the person she was meant to be looking after, and then got involved in all this political conspiracy craziness. In the second book, how would you even describe the plot? I guess the thing is, in the beginning I wasn't entirely sure where the plot was going, and that's why it seemed a bit weird. I was pretty unhappy with some of the decisions the characters were making, but once we got into it a little bit and we got a little bit more into the world's religion, things just went crazy, and the last few chapters were just mind-blowing, and I ended up staying up really late that night because I just had to finish it, and then I still need to finish it because the way it ended was like, where is the next book? And I think it's not even going to be released soon because it's not even titled yet. So I will have to try to be patient, but it was really great. And this was the only book that, Grave I read in physical form. I borrowed it from the library store. The rest I read in ebook form, and the only one I actually own is the first one of Soul Dust and Starlight. So a lot of ebook reading, a lot of library reading. These ones are also library books, and this is all of Buffy season 10, which I finished last night, and I was pretty happy with it. I think possibly this is my favorite season, although that might just be because I just read it, but I really liked where Buffy's relationship with Spike is going. I don't know if that's spoilers, probably a little bit. Oh well. I'm sure not that many people who watch this would actually read Buffy, although I highly recommend it, and if you haven't watched the TV series, then you should watch the TV series, because Buffy is my idol and she's amazing. I actually thought that Buffy the comic series was a series that had been finished, but what I've realized is that season 11 is only partway through, so I've moved it onto a different list, which means I don't need to feel stressed about not finishing it this year because that wasn't my goal. So next I'm gonna read all of the Angel and Faith books that are related to season 10, and then I'll start on season 11, and then this one can also go on the waiting list, waiting on the writers. And I guess what I liked most about this series was just that all of the characters were developed quite a lot and sort of grew quite a lot throughout the series, and some of the monsters in the story were also pretty cool. So I think for the first half of the month, that's pretty good progress. The main things that I want to finish in the rest of the month is that last Face on the Milk Carton book, which is called Janie Face to Face, which I've started reading on my phone whenever I'm walking around. I'm pretty sure I'll finish that one. I also still need to read book 4 and 5 of the first series by Christopher Pike. I don't really know why, but I keep putting it off. Like, I meant to have finished book number 4 already, but I have it on my bedside table, and every night I would go, oh, I should read some of that, and then instead I'd read some Buffy. So I guess that's a sign that I like Buffy vampires more than I like Christopher Pike vampires. But we've still got a decent couple of weeks left of the year, even though there's Christmas and New Year's, and I'm going away sort of between Christmas and New Year's, so I'm not sure how much reading I'm gonna get done, but I guess we'll see. I think I should at least be able to read one of the Thirst books, which would still be okay. So if you've read any of the books that I've talked about today, I'd love to talk to you about them down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about them, and thanks for watching. I will see you next time.